And just getting word that Sam Kennedy is joining us on the phone, not at JetBlue Park this morning. Hey, Sam.
Hey, good morning, Greg. Yeah, I'm actually out by the pool looking for you in your Speedo. Where are you?
I was assuming that you were not going there because I'm not there to sit between you and Curtis.
Oh, right. Exactly.
No, we'll be there. We'll be there shortly.
Well, I'm assuming that maybe once the Bregman deal got done, you had a little less anxiety about the 90 to 95 win and division title guarantee. Is that true?
Yeah. I pull the quotes where there was a guarantee. I think I've learned my lesson from making any silly, bold proclamations. That certainly is a goal for this year and each and every year, but we got a lot of work to do.
Sam, I would just say that the Bregman signing is much more to me than Bregman, who we got the privilege to talk to yesterday, who seems like everything you'd want in a player. Not about him personally. It's just it felt like the organization backed their words. That Cora was brought back on a 3-year deal. He got a seat at the table. The organization sees the young players getting ready to add to the big league club this year, and that the organization was ready to financially support the team to get closer to the playoffs.
Well, listen, a lot of this started with the recruitment and hiring of Craig Breslow as our head of baseball ops, and then, to your point, extending Alex Cora and having that stability, and then being able to come to a deal with Alex Bregman was absolutely huge for our franchise. Free agency is really difficult, as we've talked about ad nauseum the last couple of years. We were able to match up on a deal, and yeah, we're really excited about his arrival. He is a proven winner, and he's most importantly he chose us. You know, he had lots of options, and he really wanted to be in Boston. He wants to play at Fenway. He wants to play in front of Red Sox fans, and really excited to get to Boston. So coming into camp with a lot of enthusiasm, as you mentioned, a lot of young players who are starting to come into their own. So it's an exciting time and an exciting camp.
Obviously, we've been talking about Rafi Devers and his desire to play third base. Yesterday, he spoke and said he wasn't sure why it was such a big deal, and the most important thing for him has always been winning. Is that a softening of the stance from him, and is that something that you feel like will work itself out by the time opening day gets here?
Oh, yeah, for sure. First of all, Rafi, I think, if I'm not mistaken, is the only player in that clubhouse with a World Series ring from 2018. He's a champion here in Boston. He's a old school, hard-nosed guy who he's played hurt. He's given everything for this franchise. He committed to us for the long term. We committed to him, and that was rooted in trying to lock up a franchise player for his entire career to win more championships. So you want guys who are competitive and state their position and their mind, but it'll all work itself out. That's an Alex Cora decision. He'll fill out the lineup card, as the proverbial saying goes, and they've got a great relationship, and they'll work through it together. So not concerned about that.
Sam, one of the things you talked about recruitment, and one of the things that Trevor Story mentioned, Bregman mentioned, that Alex Cora mentioned, just the vibe around here and players wanting to come to Boston. Trevor Story said he wanted to come here, and when you notice the vibe being where you're putting a legit contender on the field, how much does that help when it comes to recruiting players? Because so many players have this, just passion to want to play for the Red Sox organization because what you guys been able to create over the years.
Yeah, I mean, it's truly because of the fans. I mean, in these contract extension discussions, in the free agency recruiting process, a big part of our pitch and our discussion is the fact that we have these incredibly passionate fans who make the environment so special. I mean, Walker Buehler is an example of a guy who just can't wait to get going. and pitching at Fenway, just being in that atmosphere. And Garrett Crochet got to spend a little bit of time with, and he's another one who's just ecstatic to be here. So it's huge, but it emanates and comes from the fans and the environment they create at Fenway. And they want to see a winner, and that's a player environment that players want to be in.
Sam, when it came to your discussions with Alex Cora heading into the contract extension, he told us yesterday that there were some things that he needed from you guys, and you guys had proposals out there for him. What were those needs that you guys had to meet to make sure that he was locked up for another 3 years?
Well, look, he's been here a long time as a player and now as a manager. And he wanted to make sure that there was going to be an environment like we've, I think, created in the past, and that was going to continue. And that was commitment to the families, our players' families, how we take care of the kids and player wives and extended families, parents, grandparents, things like that. Alex is all about family, and he sees the Red Sox as his family, and he sees his kids being a hugely important part of his life. So he was focused on what worked for him, what worked for his family. But most importantly, he really just wanted to ensure that we were going to be committed to winning, and like any manager would. And that's been a hallmark of John and Tom and Mike and our crew at Fenway Sports Group going back to 2002. We've obviously scuffled in years, but there's always been that commitment and that desire, burning desire to win championships, and we share that with AC.
Lucas Giolito faced hitters yesterday for the first time since last March 1st. Is he coming along the way you were hoping, the way you expected?
Yeah, Alex had a cookout at his house a couple nights ago with a bunch of the veteran guys, and it was great to spend some time with him. He's really fired up. He being out for a year is just brutal. So he's really motivated and focused, and so far so good. But I cross all my toes and fingers when it comes to health. That's the most important thing coming out of camp. But it'll be great to see him get that opportunity to pitch at Fenway.
And clearly no facial hair restrictions here.
No, I thought that was fascinating that the Yankees changed positions there. But good for them for getting into the 1900s.
Yeah. And speaking of good health, the good news for you, Sam, that you're not near Greg because he has Noro. So try to keep
I'm
him
over
away.
it. Don't say, now you're going to say that to me. I'm going to see him. I'm going to see him all weekend. He's going to back away like Mitch did this morning. I'm fine.
Greg, I got to tell you, we're on the radio. People hear it. Like it's not like you're.
I took an extra day. I got sick Monday, and very ill. I took an extra day to stay here. I'll be down there later tonight.
Okay, don't worry. Your pass really for the weekend to flight will still be good. Yeah, I think you're still invited, Greg. No, don't worry.
I'm flying. Ken has booked me a flight via Damascus, but I'll be there. I'll be there eventually.
Sam, just so because I think it's notable and it's deserving of praise that the organization is back when it comes to investing. Can we now admit that the last couple years were different? That the organization did need to bridge that gap where you were going to get the farm system to where it was, to where the team was ready to compete, and that's what drew John Henry back to the table and spending at the top of the market for a free agent like Bregman?
Look, free agency, Chris, has always been part of the strategy, as we've talked about. There's been limits in terms of where we've been willing to go, and we take the bullets for that when we fall short of signing certain free agents. But we're not back until we do it on the field. So we're excited about this season. We think we've got a real competitive group. There's a great vibe down here, but we're not back until we're pouring champagne on each other in October.
The Clubhouse, a year with the Red Sox, drops on Netflix on April 8th. Have you seen it, Sam?
I am one of the few people who has not seen it. I'm too nervous to watch it. We don't have any editorial control or rights over what is included, so I'd rather just sort of not know and enjoy it in real time. Yeah, it comes out in April. We had a great Netflix event last fall with the comeback. It was really great to relive that special time for all of us here in New England. And this will be a different flavor of ice cream. This is about the grind for the players over 162 game season. Really excited as a fan to see what they were able to uncover and all the crazy places they were allowed to go. But no, I haven't seen it yet. But it premieres in April.
I'll tell you what Shime is really excited about, and that is Pokemon Day.
I can't wait.
Park.
Oh, there you go.
And One Piece Day on May 3rd. That's going to be awesome.
Yeah.
Come on out.
I would love to. I need to get me one of those One Piece Red Sox jerseys. That thing is
That's
awesome.
reserved for Wiggy. Wiggy
Right.
gets the bag of merch.
Yeah, and Greg's going to be at
Yes,
One Piece Day at the
yeah.
pool, so he loves that.
Sam,
That's what happens when you're reasonable on the radio. You know we treat you well.
Sam, last one for me because it's interesting. I've never been to this part of the park before, like behind everything. And you talk about like some of the younger guys and newer guys, and when you have guys like Pedro Martinez down here, Jim Rice, guys who have played for the organization and played at an extremely and our guy Framingham Lou, can't forget about him, who played for the organization at an extremely high level, helping out these young kids. How important is that to have like some of the older guys here? I see Pedro working with the pitchers, like just kind of talking about the organization and what it means to be a Boston Red Sox.
It's huge, especially when you're trying to create sort of a connective tissue between generations of Red Sox teams and a culture of winning. And if you, as you say, when you look around JetBlue Park and our complex down here, you see imagery of Pedro and David and Dustin Pedroia and Johnny Lester and all the guys that sort of have built this culture. But we go back and we've got living legends like guys like Pedro who are willing to come through, and we've got Wade Boggs around and Jim Rice, and really the guys who sort of built this whole thing. We're missing Louis Tiant this year, which is obviously really tough, but understanding that connection to our past is a huge thing for Red Sox Nation, and we're lucky to have so many guys around. I saw Dwight Evans at lunch the other day, and it's great to have them here to be able to share some of their lessons learned and pass it on to this next generation.
I saw what you guys are doing with the golf cart for Louis Tiant, which I thought was really cool.
Yeah, it's just he was such a fixture down here, and I love Louis would watch with us in the box, 20, 30 nights a year. And the thing I'll always remember is he would just be so upset when guys would come out of the game after 3 or 4 innings. He said they need to throw more, not less. That's the problem. And he'd also get really upset when pitchers didn't brush guys back and really play the way, in his words, the game was meant to be played. He was such a kind, sweet soul, but he was an absolute maniac on the mound, and I think we need more of that in the game.
Lou, it looks like Lou is joining. Hi, Lou.
Hi, everybody. Greg, we miss you.
Lou,
Yeah, Sam, I got a question, too. I was wondering...
Are you angry?
Angry?
No, happy Lou.
Good mood
Angry?
today.
Yeah.
Are you
Sweet Lou.
kidding me? I
Yeah.
walk in this clubhouse. I just walk around with Bregman. He just puts a smile on my face. I'm not angry. I'm good. Give it some time, Sam.
He's the TV star now, guys. You got to, make sure you roll out the red carpet for him.
Oh, we are rolling it out. Well, the
Yes.
man looks, he's too good. He's too attractive to be on the radio.
Right.
I've
Yeah.
always said that about Lou. So, all right, Sam. Well, thanks for taking the time. We will see you down there, and can't wait to get it all started in a few weeks.
We'll see the team later today, and for the stragglers, Greg, we'll see you by the pool.
All right, see you a little bit later.
Take
All right,
care,
that is-
guys.
That
Thanks.
is Sam Kennedy.